Breaking the myth of the samurai, the human truth behind the legend. The samurai. Few words in world history evoke such a powerful image. A warrior wrapped in polished armor, standing calm in the face of death, guided only by honor, loyalty, and the perfect blade at his side. But legends, no matter how inspiring, are not built to describe reality. They are built to make stories simple, to flatten contradictions, to turn flawed human beings into perfect symbols. And for centuries, the samurai have been sculpted into such symbols. Idealized figures who fight without fear, serve without question, and live by a code said to be older than the nation itself. Yet the truth is far more human. Some samurai were poets, diplomats, scholars. Others were spies, opportunists, or political survivors. Some fought bravely. Others avoided battle entirely. Some defended their lords. Others betrayed them when circumstances demanded it. These contradictions are not rare cases. They form the foundation of samurai history itself. The legends that reach the modern world are only fragments, dramatic pieces polished and retold until the rough edges vanished. Today, we bring those edges back. We break the myth not to belittle the samurai, but to understand them more deeply as real people shaped by fear, ambition, duty, and the relentless pressure of survival. If the legendary samurai is a perfect statue carved from stone, the real samurai were alive. Changing, learning, failing, rising again, and navigating a world far more complicated than any tale of pure honor could ever express. This is the story behind the armor. A story not of legends, but of human beings. Myth tells us that the samurai lived and died for honor. A single stain on their reputation, a single failure in duty, was believed to be enough to demand death by their own hand. This image is powerful, it is cinematic, and it is also incomplete. Honor did matter to samurai, but not in the way legends describe it, not as a sacred code carved into the soul of every warrior, but as a social currency, a reputation that could be traded, negotiated, defended, or strategically rebuilt. To understand honor, we must first understand the world of the samurai. A world built on politics, shifting alliances, and the constant struggle to survive in a hierarchy that could crush anyone who slipped. For many samurai, honor was not an inner light. It was a shield, a way to protect their family, secure their status, and maintain their usefulness to those in power. When betrayal offered survival, many chose survival. When retreat saved their clan, many retreated. And when honor conflicted with practical advantage, the choice was not always the one legends preferred to tell. Even seppuku, the act most associated with samurai honor, was often political rather than moral. In many cases, it was ordered by authorities, used as a punishment, or employed strategically to protect one's family from consequences. Honor, then, was not absolute. It was part of negotiation. Between ideals and reality, between pride and survival, the samurai were not robots of honor. They were human beings navigating a system that demanded both loyalty and cunning. The myth of pure honor is beautiful, but it is only a myth. The samurai is often imagined as a symbol of absolute loyalty. A warrior who would follow his lord to death, who would never question orders, and who would rather perish than betray his master. This vision is powerful. It suggests a world of unwavering devotion, of iron bonds between lord and vassal. But history paints a very different picture. Loyalty among samurai was not unbreakable. It was negotiated, conditional, and often strategic. And when circumstances changed, so did loyalty. For centuries, Japan's political landscape was shaped not by eternal devotion, but by shifting alliances, betrayals, and recalculations of power. Many samurai changed masters multiple times in their lifetime, not out of dishonor but out of survival. Imagine living in a world where warlords rise and fall in a matter of months, where losing the wrong battle could mean losing your home, your income, your family's future. In such a world, loyalty was a contract, not a sacred vow. A vassal could abandon a failing lord to save his clan. A victorious lord could reward defectors in exchange for new strength. Entire armies switched sides during battles, transforming the course of Japanese history. Even the concept of loyalty until death was often a luxury. The reality was much harsher. A samurai who clung to a doomed lord risked bringing ruin upon all those he was responsible for. And so loyalty was balanced between duty and responsibility, between honor and survival. The myth of unwavering loyalty simplifies a world that was defined by complexity. Samurai loyalty was not a straight line. It was a web full of choices, consequences, and the constant struggle to navigate a violent and unpredictable age. Of all the images associated with the samurai, None is more iconic or more misunderstood than Bushido. Bushido is often described as the ancient code of the samurai, a strict moral system that guided warriors for centuries. Honor, courage, loyalty, self-discipline, self-sacrifice. A perfect warrior's code, as if every samurai carried it in his heart from childhood, living and dying by its sacred principles. But the truth is far more surprising. For most of Japanese history, Bushido did not exist as a unified doctrine. There was no single book, no single rule set, no nationwide code that all samurai followed. Instead, the idea of Bushido as the world knows it today was shaped much later, long after the age of constant warfare had ended. During the medieval and Sengoku periods, samurai were concerned with survival, politics, land, and warfare, not with abstract moral philosophy. What guided them varied by region, family, clan, and the circumstances of the time. Some clans valued loyalty, others valued military success above all. Some praised scholarship, others rewarded ruthless pragmatism. There was no single Bushido that applied to all. The modern concept of Bushido, noble, spiritual, idealized, was constructed during a time when Japan was redefining itself, seeking a moral foundation that could unify the nation. Writers and thinkers looked back into the past and assembled fragments of various samurai writings, philosophies, and anecdotes. But these pieces came from different eras and often contradicted one another. The Bushido we know today is a mosaic, a modern interpretation of old ideas, polished into a coherent narrative. This does not make Bushido false, but it does mean the samurai themselves did not live under a singular, universal code. They lived in a world too chaotic, too political, too diverse for a single moral law to rule them all. Their code was not carved in stone. It was shaped by opportunity, danger, and the realities of their age. And so the myth of Bushido, that samurai followed one eternal code for centuries, is exactly that, a myth. A powerful myth, but a myth nonetheless. Thank you for watching. Japan's history still hides countless secrets, and we're just getting started. If you want to uncover more mysteries of samurai, ninja, and ancient Japan, subscribe and join us on this journey through time.